Hello, welcome to the Minnesota Spirit Hunters. Today we are live and we are here with Pennsylvania and Matt. Matt, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, from central Pennsylvania, a little small town. Started in the paranormal field about 18 years ago. Started taking on clients and whatnot, and ever since I ran 3 separate teams, have been done about 400 homes and businesses as clients, thousands of hours in the field, multiple locations, both historical, public, basically all over the place. And now I host a podcast, and I co-host a second.
All right. This is Johnny Vortex with me because I forgot to introduce him. I'm your head today. And there's Casey, who wants that introduction anyway. But yeah, so Matt, what type of things does your team do?
I'm sorry?
What types of things does your team do?
Well, I don't actually have a team right now. I stopped having a team. I would say probably about 3 years ago. I left the field due to a lot of different things, and I wanted to still do something more. My wife and I have been in the field for a while now, and I told her, I said, I still want to do something to help the field. I still want to be a part of it. I still want to do things. And she said, what, like a consultant? And I said, a paranormal consultant. And the more I said it, I really liked the ring of it. And I love the way it sounded. So I started doing a bunch of YouTube videos on how-tos, like basic 101s, to try to help people. Ran into a guy named Scott Morton. We call him Mr. Fedora. And he said, look, you have something here. You need to turn this into a show. And long and short of it, I met some amazing people. And 3 years later, here's whatever this is, whatever I have going on.
Right on.
That's awesome.
So I think you are the most experienced person we've ever interviewed on here.
Oh, geez.
Thousands of field hours. That's a lot of work.
Yeah. When I started out in San Diego 18 years ago, I had a regular 9-to-5 job, and then afterwards, my ex, her and I were into the paranormal, so we started up this team, and we used to go basically every night out in San Diego, in Old Town San Diego. We'd go out and investigate. We would train, watch videos on how-tos. We'd watch the shows. We took it as a student mentality instead of more entertainment. And we'd go out and practice it. We started building, taking on clients. And we'd go out almost every night. And that lasted for about 5 years. We would just go out every single night, and we'd go to different locations. And, you know, it's been a roller coaster.
Yeah. That is a breakneck pace. My goodness.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was fun, but I mean, as you guys know, you never know what you get every night. I mean, you can go out to one location and get a whole mess of things, and you go out another night and get nothing. And I think that was what was really addicting to us, is you never know what you're going to get each night.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you have a favorite piece of equipment you use?
For me personally, it's honestly me. I mean, don't get me wrong. I go out with all the technology, and you know, I go out with the recorders and all this other great stuff. But myself is probably my favorite. And you know, we can lose power, we lose charges, batteries, whatever stuff happens. There's always something that could go wrong. If this, and your body, you don't need batteries. I mean, you need, obviously, you know, coffee or energy drinks in my case,
Right.
but your body will tell you. Your body will tell you exactly what's going on, where to go, what to do, any feelings, reactions. If something doesn't feel right, your body will let you know. So to me, it's just myself, and I'm cheap too, so easy maintenance.
Me too.
Right.
I'm pretty cheap.
Yep.
So I started building my own equipment.
I'm not that smart.
I'm a gearhead, 100%.
as long as this crap works and like if the setup I have here in the studio, as long as it turns on, I'm happy.
Right.
Right. So, can you tell us about some of the places you've investigated? Like, what were your favorite places?
Oh, geez. I guess I really don't have a favorite. I mean, I've had a lot of amazing experiences. As far as the most recent, this past October, I went to New Orleans. My wife and I, we traveled down to New Orleans, and we got the privilege to investigate a store called Voodoo Authentica. We did that for the Global Ghost Hunt, and that was a lot of fun. Everything
My
they had in, everything in there was handmade. They have nothing production. Everything is all handmade, so you can just feel that energy that was in that, and the passion that these people had for that. And I got a chance to walk around, see the different sites, and it was just amazing. We had such a great time, and those people down there, like they talk about Southern hospitality. Well, they take it to a whole new level. You're in this big city, and people are just saying hi to you and hanging out, and they're so chill. So that was a lot of fun. We did Penhurst Asylum.
Ooh.
I want to do that one too. That sounds amazing.
It was so much fun. It is so much fun. I highly suggest it if anybody gets a chance to. We did that for the April event for the Global Ghost Hunt, and what was really cool about it was like you see it on TV. You think Penhurst is like this big, bad, dark place where you'll get attacked, and in actuality, it's not. Like I mean, you guys know, you prepare yourself mentally for these investigations, and you pull up to it, and it's so massive, and it's just like, holy crap, I'm actually here. And you start getting excited, but once you listen to the stories and the witness accounts and everything, the spirits there aren't nasty. Like they're not mean. They're not trying to scratch you or hurt you. What they're trying to do is get your attention. This was an asylum, a hospital. So a lot of these people, they don't communicate vocally. They communicate by touch, by, grabbing at you and stuff like that. And once you take that into consideration, your whole investigation changes. So, and plus the people I was with were amazing. Like Scott Wilson, I met him for the first time. He was amazing. He was a lot of fun, and we had a great time. I've done the USS North Carolina this past year. I've done the Queen Mary. I've been all over the place. Whaley House. Wow. I mean, it's been. I've gone to a lot of different places. I don't know. I like that question, but I don't, because I don't really have a favorite because they all have their own, things that just stick with me. Well,
being that you've been that many places, do you have a bucket list still? Because those are amazing. Like I would love to go to some of those places. What is your bucket list then?
Well, on top of my bucket list is Leap Castle. Leap Castle is just a beautiful location. It's the whole area is just full of history. Basically anywhere in the UK, Scotland, Ireland, anywhere over there, it would be great. Here in the US, it's hard to say. I mean, during the last two Global Ghost Hunts this past year, we've seen so many amazing locations that my bucket list just keeps going. So at this point, it's just point to a spot on the map and just go, and see what's there.
That is an incredible journey.
Right.
Very
so,
oh
yeah. So when you're on Global Ghost Hunt, would you like to share a little bit more about that? Like a little bit about that hunt?
Yeah. So the Global Ghost Hunt is something that was set up by Brian John Laverty, the founder of Parapost. And I think a lot of us, we all know about the world's largest ghost hunt. Well, Brian wanted to do something more. So he approached me and a couple others with this idea of hosting a 10-day event of just investigations and investigations and investigations. And of course, well, you're there, of course. I love Abyss. I love Nerdwitch. I love everybody in the chats. These guys are awesome. But basically what he wanted to do was do this 10-day event. And then it got ramped to two times a year. So we have one in April. Well, this year it's April and May. and then one in October. So what we do is we are there to celebrate these locations and these teams. Like Abyss was just in the past 2. And it's people like Abyss who don't usually get in the spotlight that we want to highlight. And we want to highlight these locations that may be falling into disrepair because, let's be honest, it's expensive. It's expensive to upkeep these locations.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
So we want to promote that out. We want to celebrate these teams in these locations and try to give them a helping hand. And it's not about who has the better equipment or who catches the best evidence. It's just a big party. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And that's our goal. Like, I mean, I've met some amazing people throughout this, like Rootless Destinations, amazing team, great ladies. And I'll tell you what, the past 2 investigations, they've dressed up in like period outfits, like fitting for the location. And you're always learning something. You see these teams come on, like Abyss. I keep mentioning them because, you know, we never really hear about that team. But in the Global Ghost Hunt in the May event, they did something nobody else did. And that was go and basically spread out their team and then have them in different sections and have a camera person go to each person and come back and forth and kind of catch up. And that was something that a lot of us didn't do, or we didn't even think about.
Mhm.
You have AZ Pie. They just did the infamous Clown Motel. And a lot of people have that on their bucket list. So they just did that. I mean, there's just so many different things that have happened in this past year. And the Global Ghost Hunt is something that I suggest every team get involved with.
Right.
I know we did the Victorian venue. I was at that one.
I remember that one.
So I mean, that was amazing. Yeah, I'm sure you remember that one. I can answer the things before they even went off. Yeah, I mean, that was it was insane. That was a nice place. And they actually later that night, the kids came up and played with my lights upstairs in the room.
Oh,
So
the only
that was fun.
The only thing I wish I would have seen more of is the attic. That I mean, 2 hours can be a lot for a small location, but a big location and a beautiful location like that, that's nothing.
And there was a vortex in there too. So I mean, it was pretty powerful there. And it was a beautiful setting. Like, it was amazing. You guys did see a Victorian venue. They got kids there. They love to play around with you all night.
Our last location had a vortex. So.
What's that, Buck?
Our last location.
last
You're talking about our opener, our season opener. Yeah, our last one was something.
Not saying a location, but
yeah, don't give away the location.
Nope, not giving it away.
I don't hear nothing.
He's got a big mouth. Just ignore him. No.
So do I. That's what I say about me on my show. I'm just an idiot with a big mouth and a camera. I shouldn't be allowed to do this.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, they don't like to wire me up with tack because I drop all the tack and I break it.
Yeah.
So is there anywhere like you wouldn't want to go? Yeah. Like, is there one place you want? Yeah.
Probably not. I'm one of those, if there's a spot that has activity, or even if it doesn't, I want to go check it out. Like, I don't care. There's James from Hammertown. What's up, brother? I mean, I'm just one of those, let's go, have some fun, see what happens. You know, I've been in a couple of places where it's a little sketchy, but at the same time, it's like, as long as everybody has fun and you're enjoying what you do, screw it. Who cares?
Right.
Yeah. Are there any places you've been that you wouldn't recommend for the week of spirit, or the we'll say that that you wouldn't recommend for people who get scared easily or are new?
Not really. 90% of what I found out, when you go to a location, scope it out during the day. Go in during the day, check it out, know your surroundings, come up with a game plan, and anybody can do it. Anybody can go anywhere.
Right. You
just have to have confidence. And if you get yourself into a situation where you don't feel right, just back out. No one should bash you. No one should put you down about it. If you just don't feel right at a location, just get out. That's, be safe about it. Understand yourself.
I think the pre-investigation is a very important part, whether it be just
Yep.
making sure there aren't any holes in the steps you're going to be walking up in the middle of the dark, or
Yep, and
Yeah.
that's something a lot of people miss. They want to go to these locations and they just jump right into it. It's like, no, you need to know your area.
Yeah.
And it's not just the immediate area, like tripping hazards, electrical structure,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's, are there homeless transients hanging out somewhere? Are you seeing
Right.
drug paraphernalia? Is there blood sitting around? That might be a little red flag, literally
Right.
and figuratively. What kind of animals are around the area? Like at Penhurst, it's pretty open and there's a lot of wooded area, coyotes, bear, whatever. You want to check that out. Find out about homes. If there's homes around, you don't want to be running around in the dark and have a neighbor just so happen to see a bunch of flashlights, because then you're going to get another type of visit that you probably don't want to get.
Yeah,
Yeah, you don't want
exactly.
to talk about
Which I've had that. It's not fun.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
really
like-
bad for you to explain yourself to a spirit, but yeah, when you gotta explain yourself to captain. No.
Right.
I always tell them, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, so I'm just hanging out.
Yeah. I like what you said about animals and stuff. I grew up a couple miles from the Pokegama Insane Asylum,
Okay,
if you're familiar with that.
I've heard about it.
It sounds fun though.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
I
love the name.
if bees weren't scary before, invisible midnight bees are twice
Yeah.
as bad.
Yep.
I hear buzzing. Is there any electrical here? No. Mm-mm.
No.
No,
Oh, usually you walk into a room and it's too late. You hear the buzzing all around you. Oh God.
That's where a flamethrower comes in.
Yeah, and then you're trying to escape an insane asylum like it's Resident Evil, except you're being chased by bees instead of something supernatural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have a place like that here in Pennsylvania. It's called Concrete City. Oh, there you go.
Mhm. No.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Tanner? He'll have a smart comment somewhere in here. I know him.
Yep.
But no, like Concrete City is it's great history. But it's again vacated. There's nobody there. It's just empty. A lot of drug use goes on out there. It is out kind of in the middle of the woods, so you might run into something a little more on the physical side that you probably don't want to.
Right.
Yep. Sometimes it's not the ghosts, it's the more corporeal things.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I get along more with the dead than I do the living.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Same
You
here.
know, I say I like to talk to them because they have less drama. Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm.
It is. They don't
Yeah.
bullshit them most of the time.
Is there anything that what can we find fascinating in your state to investigate? Is there anywhere we'd want to go if we came there personally?
Oh, there's a whole laundry list. Well, just in my immediate area, there's two cemeteries that I've had a lot of experience at. That's a lot of fun. And there's a haunted trail. Well, not technically haunted, but it is. We have a lot of Native American and we're right in the middle of the Civil War area. So we've got a lot of history here. Again, it's one of those you never know what you're going to find. There's the Elvira bunkers, which is right in the middle. It's basically World War II bunkers. They had munitions there. Those are just a lot of fun, a lot of noise and contamination because they echo. There's a cemetery right next to a penitentiary, just down the street from it, so you can actually see the penitentiary. Obviously, Gettysburg. Everybody knows Gettysburg. It's kind of a story on its own. Even the state capital, Harrisburg. There's a place called Strawberry Square that has a lot of history. Philadelphia, there's Pittsburgh. I mean, you can't go anywhere around here without finding a haunted location. The problem is getting access to it.
Okay, so do you ever mess around in your house with any spirits, see if there's anything there?
Mm.
Are you tempted? I mean, you live on haunted history, so I mean, I'd be tempted to mess around with see what's in my house,
Well-
don't shit where you eat.
Well, that's one thing.
Yeah.
The other thing is, my wife and I stay with our in-laws. We're kind of helping them with the house, and we know for a fact that her grandparents are here. Not to mention 2 of our cats who have passed. I've actually, obviously, this isn't my actual background. This is a green screen. We've actually witnessed it move on the bottom. That's in the shape of a cat, like a cat would rub up against it. We've sat here and watched it. It was just after her one cat passed. We've heard him crying, like meowing. We've heard the other one crying and meowing. We've heard different voices from her grandparents down here. So yeah, we know that there's activity here, but we don't investigate it. It's one of those, okay, you just do your thing, I'm going to do mine.
Right.
You know, that is a great idea for a show. Just paranormal makeover. It's like, all right, we're going to open this wall up here, and we're going to open a portal here, and that should allow all the ghosts access right into the kitchen. I think that would be a train wreck that I'd love to watch.
So you want to see a train wreck? Come see my show. That's a train wreck. Like I said, I don't know how I'm allowed to do this stuff sometimes.
Pimp your show a little bit. What do you got going on?
Well, my
Segue.
show. Yeah, right. That was good. I like that. My show's called the Paraverse Podcast. I've had a couple other shows in the past. This one doesn't really have much of a schedule. I just kind of go on whenever I feel like it. The guests are not guests on my show; they're co-hosts. So open forum, talk about whatever they want to talk about, hang out. Just gotta hang out and relax, have some fun. And more importantly, the guests come from the audience. If the audience wants to be involved, they want to come on the show, let's go, have some fun with it. And it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's like I don't schedule anything. It's just kind of like, hey, I'm going live today. You want to come live? Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go.
I don't think you want me on there either, so.
Put me on that list for sure.
I'll go for F20.
Maybe I'll bring all the hunters on. It's been a while since I've caught up with them. But no, it's just something I want to do, and it's got a lot of positive feedback from it, and I don't script any of my shows. Number one, I don't want it to feel scripted. I don't want someone to come on and say, "Have you experienced the paranormal?
Right.
What's your favorite?" You know what I mean? It just sounds too. So I want to have fun. I want the audience to be interacted. Yeah, exactly. Too dry. And I just want everyone to have fun and enjoy it. And so far I'll do gaming on it if I feel like it. Some nights, talk about fishing. Love fishing. We'll talk about fishing. I don't care. It doesn't have to be paranormal. Everyone's welcome. And then buddy of mine, Raymond Newsom from Newsom Paranormal, him and I started this show called What the Paranormal. That just started. We just had our 3rd episode this past week. And basically it's like a Whose Line Is It Anyway, but for the paranormal.
Oh, sweet.
It's an NC-17 show.
That would be fun. I'd be focused on that one.
Oh, it's a blast. And again, anyone's welcome on it. We already have next week's guest planned out. But it basically is, if you've seen the show, they do a skit called Scenes from a Hat, where they pull something out and they read the prompt and they act it out. That's what it is. And then we'll say things like, whatever's in your immediate area, find something that's not paranormal based and pretend you're using it on an investigation. Or one of my favorite prompts is what's something you can say during an investigation that you can't say to your significant other.
That sounds like a good one.
Oh, it's gotten some lines crossed.
Oh, I know. My significant other comes with me on these hunts, so there's a few things. I already know those ones. So, are you guys across any other social media platforms? Are you guys on TikTok? Are you guys on Instagram? How can we find you?
I'm all over. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube, TikTok. I have an Instagram and Twitter or X, whatever I've been calling it now. I don't really use those. I don't know anything about it. TikTok, I post once in a while. but mainly it's my YouTube and my Facebook that I'm normally on. And obviously, you can find me on Parapost Network Central. You can see me we have a Global Ghost Hunt, a podcast as well called GGH Live, where we basically go once a month, or during the event, we do opening ceremonies, halftime show, and closing ceremonies. You can find me on that, but mainly it's just Facebook and YouTube for now.
That's cool.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about Parapost? Because I think that's the first time you mentioned it. So if you want to go in detail a little bit about it.
Yeah, of course. So Parapost was the brainchild of, again, Brian John Laverty. And the easiest way to explain it is basically a paranormal Facebook without drama. You can go, you can network, you can sell equipment, you can find new locations, you can do a whole bunch of different things. And what I really love about it is it's free. You can go to parapost.net, you can sign up with just an email, or you can download it on your phone, Android or iPhone, it doesn't matter. I actually have it on both my phones. But yeah, and you can basically just start interacting with people. And what's cool is he's got a feed set up for now that, unlike Facebook, where you only see your followers or your friends, you see everybody. Anybody on Parapost, you see. It's just completely unfiltered, and it's a lot of fun. But we also have something called Parapost Network Central on Facebook, and that's where my podcast is and a couple others. And we have a lot of amazing hosts and a lot of amazing shows on that. And we literally just released the other day Parapost Marketplace, which is people can come in and they can sell their equipment. It's basically like a yard sale. Come in, they sell their equipment and all that good stuff, and you're not paying, out the butt for it. And we also just started another new page called Parapost Investigations, where people can post their evidence and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And you can post anything you want, all your evidence, your whatever you want to post on there, and your live investigations too. We're gonna promote those out too. And honestly, like, I'm part of the admin team. We're always thinking of ideas, which is scary for me. If I say I have an idea, they all go, "Oh crap!" But we're always trying to better it. We're always trying to better everything. So, but yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's the first time I'm actually involved with no drama.
Wow.
Johnny just showed you his invention. He's been working on those. I bought one for my daughter. My daughter wants to be a hunter, but she's a little young. She's 12. So yeah. I mean, yeah. So is there anything in particular like you would recommend for other teams, that like a procedure, protocol, anything besides looking at the place at first of all, but like when it comes to talking to clients or selecting clients?
Clients get as much information as you can. Ask the questions that are uncomfortable. Some of the things that I've asked: abuse, no matter what it is. If it's sexual, alcohol, physical, mental, whatever, ask it. That can play a huge factor in it. If there's kids involved, do they have any imaginary friends? Do they talk to themselves a lot? What are they saying? And then talk to the kids. Obviously ask the parents, but talk to the kids. Ask them about their imaginary friend. Pay attention to the animals. Pay attention to, are they cats? Are they acting weird? Are they acting different? Dogs acting different? And of course, the usual, do you know anybody that's passed recently? And I usually say about 6 months. 6 months to a year, somebody passed. Just anything you can think of that you might think would help the investigation for a client, ask. Don't be afraid. The other thing too is just be yourself. Be yourself during your investigation. I'll ask some of the most random BS you will ever hear. I asked, I was at the Whaley house, and I've asked Thomas Whaley, I said, "What's it like to die?" And he told me it was cold, which was weird. But I've asked different things. I've said different things. I've said random stuff, and that's just who I am. I mean, my wife and I were asking the spirits at Penhurst if they knew what TikTok was. You know, and it's just one of those things. They get tired. They get tired of hearing the same thing. They get tired of hearing who's here, what's your name. You know, introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, be relaxed. Don't go in there like you're going to, you know, I don't know, overtake the place.
You're entertaining them.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And I know if I'm dead and I'm hanging out somewhere, I don't want somebody to come in and shove a recorder in my face. What's your name? I got a couple choice words.
Yeah,
especially,
you start talking to someone, they're like, no, I'm not telling you your name. You're just another person.
It's like you keep talking like that, it's gonna be daddy.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I told you. I warned you all.
I've actually had a
Yes, Daddy.
I've had a location where I had to ask what happened around the location.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've asked spirits they want to go for beers. Like, you want to go get a beer? Let's go have a beer. Yeah.
I imagine that's really, really relevant in the places that have a lot of people coming through doing the same thing, doing the same investigations. If you come in there and you can juggle, like,
Right.
Well, I know
you got a magic act you can do.
You know, Pipestone, like when we went in there, it was an inexperienced time. It was my first. Oh, it was horrible. Anyway, but when I went in there, it was a completely different situation because they had so many things coming through, going, "What's your name? Who's all here?" Like, I mean, I pulled out a banshee at one point, so I was hide and seek with the banshee. You know, they don't want to sit there and have the same thing. I completely agree. I completely agree.
Yeah, I've asked them about politics.
Yeah.
And about their favorite sports team.
About what year did you die, and you know, give them an update on whatever whatever era they would have been into.
Right.
It's like, oh, you died in '92. Yeah, Metallica's still playing. They still got new albums. You know,
Kiss is finally finishing it up. You know, I've gone in there and I said, hey, you know, how you guys doing tonight? My name's Matt. You know, I'm here just to hang out with you guys, and that's that's an EVP session. You know, it's like, hey, I'm Matt. You know, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? What's your name? You know, tell me your name so I know who I'm talking to.
Okay, I gotta ask you a serious question because I've been violated on many, many hunts. I get told to do things to my spirit boyfriends, as Marcus likes to put it. Does that ever happen to you where you get told inappropriate things and said inappropriate things to you?
Me, no. The Wicked Queen, though, my wife, yes. We were at the USS North Carolina, and we were apparently talking to this individual, I want to say gentleman, from San Diego. Well, that's where I was stationed in the military. I was in the Navy, so I was making that connection. And he didn't want to talk to me. He just wanted to flirt with my wife. And I said, you know what? I said, I don't care what you say. I said, guess what? You're dead. I'm not. I'm going home with her. You staying here. You know, and you know, I was investigating. We were investigating in where was it? Annapolis. We were investigating this one restaurant, and I felt myself being choked because we had a black individual with us, and they didn't want him there. And I said, he's staying. I don't care what you say. He's my friend. I like him. He's staying. So they started choking me, and if you ever feel like you're being touched, I always do the pinkies in and then pinkies out, so that way you can see you're not touching, not scratching. And they put the camera up to my throat. Sure enough, they could see the handprint. Wow. And most people would freak out. Me? No, I was like, keep doing it. I like it. You're not doing it hard enough.
Oh, now who's daddy?
I always tell people, if you see me pinned up against the wall or spinning on the ceiling fan, well, you know my fat ass ain't getting up on the ceiling fan. Record it. That's good evidence.
Yeah.
Great evidence. You know, so they want to try to use me as a punching bag, bring it on. I'll step on toes. I don't care.
I can only imagine, like, you get your wife in there and you're going through EVPs later and you hear, show us your titties. Like,
you know what?
That's got to be the word. Like,
I'll go back there and I'll be like, bring it on.
I got told to suck something one day.
Never yawn at an investigation. I've always said that, never yawn. But no, and you know what? It's funny because in all my 18 years of doing this, I've been scratched, pushed, bitten. I've had my name yelled in my ear. You know, I've had it all done, and it's still good evidence, no matter what.
And see, I think everyone thinks I'm weird because I tell my whole team I allow these spirits to touch me. I allow them whatever. I'll come back with bruises. And it's like, whatever. And they're like, well, why do you allow this? Well, because I want to know their story. How else are they going to tell me,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
And to me, there's no such thing as bad evidence. As long as you're being honest, as long as you're not faking it, there's no such thing as bad evidence, no matter what it is.
Yeah, but it's one of those certain locations if you show fear, they're going to give it to you. You show them respect and show them that you're there just because, they'll more likely be cool with you.
Well, and that's what I said earlier. If you feel yourself getting a little sketched out, like you don't feel comfortable or confident, back out.
Yeah.
Walk around the block real quick. Get off property. It's okay. I've been in some places where I take a step back, and I was like, okay, and let's try it again. No, I'm not doing that. Okay, and that's fine. You got to go in comfortable and confident, just like if you're on one of these shows. You got to just be yourself, and you'll be amazed. I mean, obviously, learn the basics, how to talk to them, what the questions to ask, how to use the equipment properly, keyword properly, and just be yourself. Throw yourself. I've trained hundreds of investigators, and I've trained them all the same way, and they all have their own way of doing it, and that's what it is. It's you all have your own style, and embrace it. If you're more of a quiet, laid back, be quiet and laid back. If you're more outgoing, go ahead. If you're like an idiot like me, have at it. I mean, who else do you know runs through Penhurst going rawr? Like TikTok rawr, the Dyna guy. Yeah, yo. And that's the thing. You just have fun with it, and you'll be amazed at the evidence you'll catch.
And even if you don't catch anything that night, like, you didn't sit in one spot bored. You were having fun running around. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
And being entertaining to the other folks there.
Poor Johnny. He got stuck on investigation like that with me. Poor boy. The first time he met me.
It was pretty slow that night.
It was.
See, I love slow nights though. I really do, because that's where you really start to find some of the good stuff. Because if your focus is on the spirits and they're not reacting to it, screw them. Sit there and talk about whatever you want to talk about. Ignore them.
Yeah. And if there's nobody home, if there's nobody home to focus on, get to know the people around you, the live people around you. Build those bonds, do that networking.
Yeah.
And you might get good EVP with it too.
But I know Johnny and I figured out at one location, because we were downstairs, just us two hanging out, and they're upstairs talking to something. But I would say something, and the spirit would answer upstairs to exactly what I was saying. So even though we weren't getting nothing downstairs, we could hear it upstairs in the response. So.
I've ignored them. I've gone straight into some of these locations and just ignored them. Just ignore them, because they'll get so upset. They'll see you're different. They'll want to start talking with you. And if you don't feel it, you don't hear it or see it, you ignore them. They're going to take every bit of energy they can to make themselves known. And you might get a whisper at first, but then you build up to slamming doors, an apparition. You can build that up with more energy. And I've caught some of my best evidence doing that, just ignoring them.
So do you guys like provoke, or do you not believe in provoking, or what's your thoughts on that?
So provocation is very, very tricky. There's different levels of provocation. What you see on TV, never do that. You're just acting like an idiot. Number one.
Right.
Number two, you have to understand the spirits aren't there to, bend at your will. If they don't want to do it, they're not going to do it.
Right.
The way I do it is I challenge. I will challenge the spirits. And it is a form of provocation, but it's not like I demand you to do this. It's like at the USS North Carolina, I put a cigarette on the table, stood it straight up, and I said, push it over. You're such a big badass, push it over. And I was like, come on, you can push it. Look. And I knocked it over myself. I stood it back up. I'm like, see, it's not hard. You do it. And I'm challenging them. I'm riling them up, but I'm not doing it in a derogatory way. It's still showing them respect, but at the same time, I'm still picking on them. And I do that to anybody. So it's one of those. Yeah, you just got to know what you're doing, but you also have to understand there can be repercussions. You can get scratched, you can get pushed, you can have something happen to you, and you could have something happen to the people around you. If you're going to start doing stuff like that, ask permission from the other people. Are you okay with me doing this? Are you not okay with me doing this? If somebody isn't, get them out. Be like, okay, well, this is what my plan is. If you don't want to be a part of it, head off to another area or go somewhere else or do this or do that. Get them out of that area, or just don't do it.
Yeah.
If you want to communicate with us, come over here and give Matt a big kick in the rear. Like, wait, hey.
My wife will do that for her. She won't even wait for the spirit. She'll just do it herself.
Casey's done that to me, and it worked too.
I did.
I told you for that one too.
No, for me, I asked if they can touch anybody other than myself, and they chose her, not me.
But who gives them permission to touch? I give them permission to touch, so who are they going to touch? This world's small psychic.
Just had to say that. I asked anybody. They can touch anybody. But they chose you. Yeah.
What's really funny is when we were in New Orleans, the spirits didn't want to talk to me. I was a little upset. Like they were saying, Matt, leave. I'm like, screw you. I was like, I don't want to leave. You leave. And I get that. I get that a lot. And I don't know if it's my energy or if it's just my personality, but I'm not going to change who I am. And I've been doing this for so long. It's just like, let's go hang out with them. Let's have some fun with it. And if they talk to me, great. They don't, cool.
Yeah, I've had my name called at every location I've been to except 2. Which is very interesting and pretty cool.
Yeah, this field is so much fun because every investigation you're learning something. Every podcast you're learning something. It's never the same. And I laugh at these people that say, "Oh, I'm a professional." Bullshit. There is no such thing. There's no experts. There's no professionals. There's seasoned investigators. I'll give them that, but nobody knows exactly what they're doing. I mean, let's be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that we found out that we can use a digital recorder to record voices, we'd still be using cassettes. And if we didn't figure out the cassettes, pen and paper, I guess. And it's just trial and error, and that's all it is. We're all learning, and it really upsets me that there's these people out there that go, "Well, I'm the best. I'm this. I'm that." No, you're not.
Yeah, I have a seasoned investigator that I talk to a lot, and he's still learning, and he's attacked just like Johnny is. He's still learning.
And like for me too, like when I do an investigation as a psychic, I get nervous. Like I'm gonna screw this up. Like what if I'm just being crazy, or I don't hear something right, or what if it's just me? Like what if I slip? You know what I mean? Like I have that doubt too.
See, I've had a couple of mediums and people with gifts on my teams, and I've told them the same thing over and over. And Sarah, I'll tell you the same thing. React. Don't think about it. Once you start thinking, you're already second guessing yourself.
Right.
And that's what I do during my investigation too. I have no abilities. I'm not a medium. I'm an extra large. I'm not a medium. And
I'm a medium, like a medium.
See, and
I'm extra large.
Yo, extra large crew right here. But here's the thing: like when you go out, react. Don't think.
Right.
If you think you saw something, say it. If you think you felt something, say it. If you feel like you're getting some kind of read on something, say it. My wife has to almost put a leash on me because I'll start walking this way. It's like, oh, shiny, and over here I go. And that's me reacting to my body.
That's her.
Yeah,
just like everything, communication is key.
Yeah,
yep.
And write stuff down. Everybody always says about the digital recorders. I still carry a notebook with me, and I'll say, okay, it's 10:43, felt butt touched, or heard slapping sound, ? And you write this stuff down. You then validate your own self. If you sit there and say, okay, it's 9 o'clock, I feel a presence of a female. You catch an EVP of a female, you just validated yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I know,
That's
like for me, some of
compelling.
the best pictures I've caught as evidence were on location where I was just snapping a selfie. And all of a
Yeah.
sudden you see something in the back seat with me, and I'm like, what the heck is that? You know?
Yeah, don't second guess yourself, Sarah. Just react to it. And if
I
you're
do.
wrong,
That's what I did on
who cares?
Global. That's what I did on Global.
Yeah, and if you're wrong, who cares? Who cares? I
So we
mean,
got like 15 minutes. Is there anything you two would like to ask?
Do you think it's possible to come up with criteria for what a professional ghost hunter is?
No.
Or is it more like professional wrestling? Like it's just kind of whatever
I wouldn't
they
put it.
put on
I wouldn't
it.
put it as the professional wrestling because this stuff should be real. Keyword should be real.
I mean, definitionally.
Yeah, you know what? In all honesty, start off with the basics. The basic definition of paranormal is anything outside of normality. It's paranormal.
Oh, I am paranormal then. Woo.
I live
Let
paranormal.
me
Somebody calls me normal. I'm like,
Me too. I'm paranormal
no,
too.
Actually, that's a piece of merch I have. It says I'm not normal. I'm paranormal with a dabbing ghost. But
I'm never normal.
Yeah.
I gotta get me one of those. I want one of those. That sounds like a good present.
But no, there's never going to be a professional. There will never be an expert in our field ever, because we already have that answer to the most common question: is there life after death? We have that. Yes, obviously there is. Otherwise, who the hell are we talking to? The biggest question now is what happens after death.
Right.
And we are nowhere near technologically advanced enough to get that figured out. And even once we do, it's a personal experience.
Right.
It's not the same for everybody. There's people that have experiences that see this blinding white light, pretty shiny thing. Some that see nothing. It's a personal journey. We will never have definitive answers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I personally, I've died and I've seen dark. Every time I've passed, I've seen dark and I've been told I couldn't reach light yet. You know, so I mean, like, I totally agree. And I think even when we do hit the light or whatever we do, you know, it's going to be different every second that we do this.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, if anybody doesn't agree, then why do we have so many theories? Nothing said. We all have theories. Like, for example, I can sit here and tell you guys that every spirit is purple. Prove me wrong. Prove me right. You can't.
Right.
Because every spirit that, keyword there, I will say that every spirit is purple. But what's purple to you? What's purple to me? You know, we never know. It's a personal journey.
Yeah.
And there's never going to be that big, definitive, 100%, everybody's on board, credible piece of evidence. Never.
Yeah.
So we just don't have the technology. So in the meantime, screw it. The way I describe the field is a big jigsaw puzzle, and it takes every piece, every piece to fit this, to make this puzzle complete.
Yeah. Well said.
Thank you. Not scripted, I swear. I have nothing. I just have my energy drink here.
Gotcha. The EM pump for the corporeal.
EM pumps. That's the only thing I'm sensitive to is the EMF field. That is literally the only thing. The EM field just drives me nuts. It gives me a headache. My team in San Diego, they put an EM pump under my driver's seat when we were driving up to LA. I started getting a headache about an hour into it, and it got real bad. And they're like, "Oh, this might be the problem."
So, on that, I've never met anyone who's fairly sensitive to that. My parents' house, you take a K2 in there, it comes up to yellow, comes up to medium. Anywhere you are in that house, it stays there. You walk a few feet away, it drops down to 0. It's a well-proven K2 where, you know, it's not just funky. You walk back in, and it stays there.
Yeah.
Is that abnormal in your experience?
Well, what's lucky about that is I'm actually an electrician by trade.
That place is a goddamn mess. You would cry.
You should send
electrically
TJ
in there.
You should have TJ look at it because TJ did that stuff too.
I would have to say there's probably knob and tube wiring, black wiring, 2 wires that's in the wall that bleeds electromagnetic EMF. That bleeds it.
Gotcha.
Or they could have ran it right next to, new cable next to it, didn't remove anything. and they just made a big old rat's nest, and it's what's creating what's called a fear cage.
Yep.
So they are just basically pumping out EMF all over that place. So it probably should get looked at by a certified electrician, and at least inspected to make sure that they're safe. Because prolonged exposure to the the EM field can lead you to, paranoia, nausea, vomiting, headaches, a bunch of different things.
Oh, it's only been 35 years.
Or and I've seen people.
We'll make my twin go. We'll make my twin go and look at it.
Yeah, I would still have someone look at that because it also could be a fire hazard. Because, as you know, when you have some kind of electricity or you have some kind of energy source, energy is basically what? It's just the atoms rubbing against each other, creating heat. You get too much of that over a prolonged amount of time, eventually, it just takes one spark.
I imagine that's why the place is so active.
It probably is. It's a big EM pump.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also water nearby that's in addition to.
All right.
Casey, would you like to ask Man any questions since you've been quiet all night pretty much?
No, I think all of them were answered pretty much.
Is this why Marcus made me come on with you because you don't talk too much when I'm on?
No. No.
Johnny, you have more questions?
When can I come investigate with you? Because I'd love to pick your brain.
Anybody is welcome anytime. If you head over to Pennsylvania, Central PA, look me up. Give me enough heads notice. I'll take off of work. It's an open invitation for anybody. I'll show all you guys around. I'll show you some of the local haunting spots. We'll go to Gettysburg, have some fun.
I'm game.
Right on.
I'm game for that.
In the spring, hop in the Ecto, and away I go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I still want to go to Penhurst and Louisiana. Those are my dreams.
Actually,
but
Penhurst, I actually know a guy who works there. He's one of the tour guides. Really great guy. Again, given enough time, you could set something up.
That'd be awesome. That's like my dream investigation right there. There's my bucket list. So
beautiful.
We got about 8 minutes left. Again, tell us how to find you. Tell us a little bit, let us know. Close us out.
You guys can find me Paranormal Consultant on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere. Like I said, TikTok kind of use, Facebook and YouTube are the main ones. You can also find me on Parapost Network Central on Facebook. You can find me on Parapost. You can also see me at Global Ghost Hunt. You see the bunch of GGH lives everywhere. I'm all over. But actually, before we go, I'm assuming that's Marcus. I have a surprise for Marcus.
More likely it is Marcus. It could be Kendra, but more likely it's Marcus.
I have something special for Marcus. We kind of talked about it off camera. So Marcus said this was going to be a Christmas show, right? So he did a show last year, and I dressed up for it, and I was waiting just for him because.
Oh no, your background's taking it.
It's actually
your background's got.
It's a quote type thing.
It's a holiday Christmas cat blazer, and the inside's green.
That'll do it.
I wore it last year like this, so all you saw was my head.
Nice.
That'd be a fun way to spook somebody.
We've had such a blast. I think it was the Christmas episode. We didn't stop laughing. I was in tears for like 20 minutes because I was wearing it, and I forget what I was doing, but I think I opened it a little bit and I saw, and I was like, wait a minute. And I turned off my camera real quick, flipped it inside out, came back, just a head.
Just a head.
And we lost it. We absolutely lost it. And I brought it just for him tonight.
So does that make you the bodiless horseman? I mean, you're only 4 heads.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Be the
that's
thinnest.
cute.
As a go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I have a whole freaking suit that goes with it. There's pants with it.
Oh,
There's
no.
a shirt. There's
Oh
a tie.
no.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
no. No.
Oh yeah.
That'd be a fun way to spook somebody. No, no, you're there. No.
Oh, we did a whole thing about it last year, and it became a running joke for a while. It was great.
Oh boy, that sounds like fun.
It
So,
was.
any more questions? Would you like to ask us something? We got 5 minutes, guys. Use your time wisely.
I'm saving all my good stuff for my show because I'll bring you guys on.
Oh, I see how it
Have
is.
you ever been?
I'm just
Have you
kidding.
ever been to our area, like Wisconsin?
I haven't. That's probably the only area of the U.S. I haven't gotten a chance to come up.
Come on.
Come on
Come
over.
on.
I will say, maybe I'll give you guys a little teaser. The consultant and the Wicked Queen are planning a trip next
Okay.
year. There's going to be some going around, so you might see me in your neck of the woods.
Hit me up if you do.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, it'll be pretty well known if I'm in the area.
Well, not to tease anything, but we too have an investigation here in Minnesota coming up, and it's going to be released. And actually, it's coming up January 19th for us, and that ought to be fun to watch. Yeah, if you come up here, you're more than welcome up here. We can have some fun. But then I'm going to harass you. It's only fair.
Right?
Well, you know Marcus will not be safe. I'm just saying, Kendra already
Oh,
knows.
he's not safe on our team either. Trust me.
No, he's not safe with us either. So.
No, he's not safe on his team, his own team. So
That's good, though. That's good.
we'll figure out something. If you come up here, we'll figure out something to get him.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe you guys should just hassle him to plan a trip to PA.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Well,
I know a
that's
lot of
something.
hiding places. I mean, haunted locations.
Oh, I'm good at that. I'm good at the jump scare, and so is Marcus, though. So it would be a competition.
All right.
I'm sure
Last
we'll figure
question.
something out. Okay.
Last question before we jump ship. What is your favorite investigation doohickey? Because I'm a gearhead. I'm a tech. I'm always interested in what people are using.
Honestly, I think I have a very simple answer to that. Right here. My phone.
Gotcha.
Reason for I'm very, believe it or not, I'm maybe an idiot, but I'm very simple. Camera, flashlight, recorder, all in one. Very simple.
What kind of apps do you use on your phone? Like, what kind of apps do you recommend that are?
Honestly, I don't recommend any of them. The reason for it is we have specialized equipment in this field that are specific for what we do.
No.
You know, you're not going to use a digital recorder to take pictures.
Right.
You know, there's Jonathan Myers. What's up, brother? There's another good show. If you guys want to see a good show, Jonathan's. You know, these apps, they're on the phone. Your phone doesn't have the necessary capabilities to pick up the EMF field. There may be some magnetic stuff going on, but think about what's in your damn phone. A lot of metal, a lot of different things that can be magnetized. It's all about validation.
Yeah.
You know, if you can validate, do it. I mean, take pictures, great. You know, put on a recorder. I do. Like I have like 6 different recorders going on at any given time. You know, and I got one in my pocket, my phone. I got my GoPro. You know, it's simple.
When I was on my own investigation, I had my phone recorder going. I had 2 other recorders going, and only one of them caught a few voices that the other ones didn't catch.
Yep, and you never know. You never know. And actually, I've even picked up one of those game ears. This is what they're called. Basically, it's a souped-up hearing aid that hunters use. I've used that. It's still an electronic device.
Yeah.
You can still hear things. I've used a trail cam. I used a trail cam at Penhurst. I just put it on a tripod, set it down, and let it run. There's Emmy. Emmy, I hope you're feeling better. Much love to you. But I mean, I've done random things, but the phones. I mean, when I was in New Orleans, the necrophonics was used at Voodoo Authentica.
Yep.
They were giving some pretty interesting answers, like stuff that we weren't even talking about. But then there was some that was just kind of like, okay, well, blue. Okay, cool, blue. What's blue? And
Yeah.
it's not your phone is not intended for ghost hunting.
Right.
Sorry, not sorry.
Thank you. I've got an hour and a half diatribe on Facebook about why phones aren't good for ghost hunting.
Keep it simple. Why? Because it works. You want to get a REM pod? Cool, have at it. You want to get an SLX or SLX? Have at it. Go for it. Use it properly. But
Right. Yeah.
Like an SLS, like Brian was saying, Brian John Laverty, like he says, it's not meant to be mobile. An SLS camera is meant to be stable. Just set it down, let it go.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't work if you move it around a bunch.
It's calibration.
Yeah, it's got to sit there and get a good image of the background to tell what's against it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got two deals here. What do you say about keeping it simple? These little guys, it's just a camera that the lens moves and it clips in your pocket. It does nothing else. It saves to an SD card. There's no EMF coming out of it. It doesn't have Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or anything. Just that. $16 on Temu. I got 3 of them in my kit here. Yeah.
See,
and the other piece are just the audio recorders.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, keep it simple. The easiest stuff.
Actually, do I have one?
Well, definitely don't check me up because we know I'm going to break it. I'll break it in the first 5 minutes.
This is a little extra, I'd say. My VIP, my REM pods that I make.
Oh, you make them?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very cool. They work very well. They work very, very well.
Well,
I call them investigation rugged. I drop stuff, I break stuff, and the $180 pods they're kind of delicate and they're way too much money to need to replace. I sell these for $70.
I might be hitting you up.
Absolutely.
Well, we're trying to get him to mass produce some. So
Yeah.
You can even sell them on Parapost Marketplace on Facebook.
Absolutely. As soon as you were explaining about that, I put that up on the side, and as soon as we're done here, I'm going to make an account. I'm going to get set up with the highest tier I possibly can and just dig in because I really believe in that kind of community and that kind of social networking.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. You don't need to pay anything. You just go to Facebook and look up Parapost Marketplace.
That's awesome.
Gotcha.
That's very awesome.
That is it. And same way with the Parapost investigations. I mean, everything has to get approved, obviously. But,
right. By the admin stuff, yeah.
You can sign up for Parapost.net or download the app or even go onto Parapost Network Central on Facebook for free. You don't need to pay anything.
Parapost has an app?
Yeah. Yep. Parapost, yeah.
Wow.
Actually, hold on. I actually have, like I said, I have it on my phone. Let me.
That just blew my mind. No,
right
but
there,
I'll look that up. Is it in the Play Store?
Where is it at? Yep, right there. That little ghost.
There we go.
Parapost the app. And all you gotta do is it's Android or iPhone. It doesn't matter. And it's for free. Yep, there it is.
There you go.
Too easy.
Now I got something else to add to my phone. What do you know?
That's one of my thought too. But it's so much fun. But what I was looking for, since Johnny, since you're a techie, I actually have a thumb drive. It's only about that long. It's a recorder.
Ooh,
that's all it is. It's a recorder. You just plug it in.
Audio recorder?
Yep.
Lovely.
Yeah, and it's only a tiny little thing.
Yeah, so as long as you've got some little power stick or something, it's on and it's working.
Internal battery. You just plug it in,
Oh,
and it charges it right there. And it lasts for 8
gotcha.
hours.
Oh man, I'd love to know more about that. If you could send me like on the side on Facebook
Oh
about
no, here goes
what
more
it is,
projects.
where it's from, because
Here
that
goes more
is
projects.
If I can figure out where the hell I put that thing, because I have my studio's been a mess.
how much
I
do
got
them,
equipment
how
everywhere.
much does that run?
I think I only paid like $15 for it. It was on
Oh
Amazon.
shoot, can't beat that.
Yeah.
With investigations, especially what I call the non-central scene going on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to write a book about best practices and stuff, and
Yep.
trying to coin phrases. So the cheap recorders are amazing for secondary scenes. You set up a ball, you set up a beeper, you set up a REM pod somewhere, and you need a recording of that.
Yeah.
And even just a little audio recorder like that, you've got a time and you've got audio of when that thing goes off or when something clicks or when you can
My
hear
phone does
something in
that.
another room. That's absolutely great. Cheap,
Oh, absolutely.
easy to use, small equipment is absolutely
Yeah.
paramount.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
my cheap, easy equipment is still my cat balls. I still love those cat balls. I can't help it. That's my favorite toy.
You know what?
I
What I really like to do? I'm not creative by any stretch of the imagination, so don't think I am. But you guys ever heard of a ghost chime?
No.
Real
What is-
simple. Take a piece of thread, and actually, I have thread right here. It just reminded me of it. Piece of thread, sewing thread, and a bobbin. Take a length of it, get a couple of feathers, some bells. You got yourself a ghost chime.
That sounds like something I do. That'd be a gypsy thing.
It's so simple and easy, and you can put it on like a coat hanger or whatever. So a couple of them, as long as there's some. Just put the bell. I use bells. I like them. Put them on the bottom to weigh it down, weigh the string down, and obviously outside, not the best choice. But if you're in a home and you can control the elements a little bit, you can use it. You'll see it moving, and you'll pick up the airflow. Because the feather will start to point one way, but you see it going back and forth or doing something else, but there's nobody around. Can't explain it.
Can't explain it.
That makes sense. And you can always record it with your phone.
Yeah,
You know, that makes sense.
Yeah, and like a sewing kit is like $1.
Yeah.
A pack of feathers at Walmart is like $2 or $3.
I'm sure you can find them at the Dollar Tree too. Like, let's be real.
Yeah.
You can find everything there.
$3 and you have yourself about 50 ghost chimes.
Yeah.
It's just something stupid and simple. Wait, did I put it in my cup?
All right. Well, since this is a Christmas episode, but we are a little bit over. What would be the greatest Christmas present to you?
Greatest Christmas present? Not to sound cliche, but I am a huge advocate of para-unity. And I've explained to people para-unity is not a thing. You can't just say, well, here's para-unity. It is a belief. It's almost religious. You practice it, you preach it, you live by it. So the greatest Christmas gift I can receive, to sound corny as hell, for the egos to just stop. People don't understand that you're not going to sit there and do it on your own. You are not the greatest. If you have millions of followers, you're only popular because of your million followers. Have some humility. Enough with the BS, enough with, people saying, oh, hey, Banshee. I love Banshee. But it's high time for these teams and these people and podcasters to get off their high horses. You're not top shit.
Right.
You're not.
Yeah.
Is your last name Baggins? No, it's not going to work the way you think it's going to.
I wouldn't say that name around me too much. I had a weird twitch when that happens.
Yep, exactly.
I actually met him.
I've heard he is exactly how he is on TV for better or worse.
He's worse.
Worse?
I've met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard some stories, but we're not going to recap that.
You don't want to emulate that.
The short version.
Behavior,
Do you remember when they did the Cosmopolitan Hotel and the Casa de Estudio in San Diego?
Yep.
I don't think I saw that one.
You saw that
I
one?
saw all
I
of them.
don't think I did.
All of them.
And how are you not, a vegetable watching all of that? That's too much. But anyway,
Way too
you
much
get
for
like
me.
OD'd. Well, anyway, my team and I did the Cosmopolitan Hotel 2 weeks prior to them being there. That's why they got called in. I got some of my best evidence in my 18 years at that location. And I showed the owners and everything else. And the week after they called up asking for them to come in. I don't know why they wanted to ask. I was actually interviewed for the episode, but Michael Brown, that they did post, they gave, whatever they put on, never investigated a day in his life. He runs a ghost tour, a BS one, stands next to an electrical outlet and says that there's a portal there because of the high EMF, and he takes pictures of trees. Sees
It's
all
an
the
outlet.
Oh yeah, no, it's a portal. Takes a picture of this tree, says it's the hanging tree, which ain't wrong. All the hangings happen in the middle of Old Town San Diego, not on the side street. And takes pictures and sees all these wonderful orbs of all the spirits that have died from that tree. It's like a yin yang. You're right next to the ocean. There's a beach there. Wind blows in. Could be sand.
Right.
They used his interview. He's never experienced it. Never investigated. And not to mention Zach treated the entire staff like absolute crap, like they were his servants, and made the hotel cancel every single reservation while they were there.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, see, I feel like when we did like global, I feel like it was about being the best team you could be and putting it forward and being like a true investigator and showing how this thing should be run. You know what I mean? Like how you should run a team, how you should act, how you should whatever. Like I feel like global put it out there like this is a good team because they got solid evidence.
It's Global Ghost Hunt, in all honesty, is exactly what we say it is. It's we say it on the GJ slides. It's a celebration. It really is. Like you get these people that come in and these teams that come in like Abyss, Rootless Destinations, AZ Pie, the list goes on and on and on. And you're sitting there watching their investigation, whether it's live or not.
You forgot.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you can learn from everybody. Like
absolutely
different teams. You can learn from, you don't know something that team does, they tell you.
And why not show your support?
Yep.
Why not show your support? They'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
And these locations will appreciate it. And you guys, asked about bucket list earlier. That list gets longer. And it's going to get longer because of, you're going to start something. My sleeves are down right now. You want my sleeves up? On my show, if my sleeves go up, there's a rant coming. But, come out and support each other. Have fun with it. Learn a couple of things. It's not a matter of who gets the best evidence or who has the most views. Screw that. Let's have some fun with it.
Yeah.
Hire a nonprofit.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you for coming in. I'm consistently surprised in the short time I've been with these folks, the quality and caliber of people they get to come on this little show. It's absolutely amazing to meet you folks, and I look up to you all.
No, you're looking the wrong direction if you're looking up at me. Turn around.
All right, Johnny, what would you like for Christmas this year?
God, for Christmas this year, I would love a Class A full featured apparition to appear on my next investigation, because that's really what I'm looking for, is that undeniable evidence that will really, that's why I started with this. I hear a bunch of stories, I hear a bunch of people talking, and if, I don't know for sure. I can't see it. So until I can see it, I'm gonna have a lot of skepticism for stories. So that's what I want for Christmas, is a 19th century aristocrat to come up and kick me in the balls that I can see through, you know?
Mm.
Just really drive it home.
You know, somebody
That might
somebody
hurt a
asked,
little bit.
Right?
somebody
I'll
asked
take
me
it.
why I do it. I was asked why I do this stuff, and I said, when was the last time you talked to somebody from the 1900s?
Right.
Yeah.
You
No.
know?
All right, Casey, what's your present this year? What would you like? Well, it doesn't matter. We can just skip you. No, I'm just kidding.
Marcus.
No, I already got what I want. I already got what I want. That's family. So
Mine is for Matt to pay for my ticket and my whole trip out to Pennsylvania.
I pay attention, I go broke.
I'm too broke to pay attention. So,
I just go
all
in
right. We are now at 1:15. So, guys, if you want to, if you want to tell us more, Matt, again, tell us how to find you. We'll wrap this up.
Real easy. You can find me on Facebook or YouTube, Paranormal Consultant. You can find me on TikTok as well. Easiest way, Parapost Network Central. Or
Alrighty.
either one.
Well, from the Minnesota Spirit Hunters, happy hunting and Merry Christmas. And we'll be setting out our video for our Christmas video. Have a good one, guys. Thank you to our guest,
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
Thank you
Bye.
for having me.
You're
Bye.
welcome. I hope to be on your show soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.